Years ago, in a small, peaceful village surrounded by wide fields and dusty roads, something happened that the villagers would talk about for many years. A poor boy once gave away the only food he had to a hungry stranger. Many people in the village thought the boy was foolish for doing that. But what happened years later shocked the entire village. The boy lived in a small wooden hut at the edge of the village. The roof was old, and when it rained, water sometimes leaked through the cracks. Life was not easy for him. Every morning before the sun rose, he walked through the village looking for small jobs. Sometimes he helped farmers carry baskets of crops. Other days he swept shop floors or fetched water from the well. The work was hard, and the money was very little. Most days he earned just enough to buy a small meal. But despite his struggles, the boy had something many people admired. He had a kind heart. One evening after a long day of work, the boy returned to his small hut carrying a bowl of rice and vegetables. It was the only food he had managed to earn that day. He sat down quietly and placed the bowl in front of him. His stomach growled with hunger. He had not eaten since the day before. Slowly, he picked up the bowl and prepared to take his first bite. But just at that moment, there was a knock on the door. The boy looked up, surprised. Visitors almost never came to his house. He stood up slowly and opened the door. Outside stood a tired traveler. His clothes were dusty, and his face looked weak and exhausted from a long journey. In a soft voice, the traveler spoke. "Please, I have been walking for 2 days. I haven't eaten anything. Do you have something I could eat?" The boy froze. He slowly turned and looked back at the bowl of food inside the hut. It was the only meal he had. If he gave it away, he would sleep hungry that night. For a moment he stood there in silence. His stomach growled again. He imagined how good the food would taste after such a long day. Just then, a villager walking past noticed the situation. The man laughed and shook his head. "Don't be foolish," the villager said loudly. "You can barely feed yourself. Why give your food to a stranger?" The boy looked at the traveler again. The man's hands were shaking slightly from hunger. For a moment, the boy said nothing. Then he quietly picked up the bowl of food. He walked back to the door and gently placed it in the traveler's hands. "You can have it," the boy said softly. "You need it more than I do." The traveler looked surprised. "Are you sure?" he asked. The boy nodded. "Yes." The traveler's eyes filled with gratitude. "Thank you," he said quietly. "Your kindness will not be forgotten." That night, the boy went to bed hungry. But inside his heart, he felt peaceful. The traveler left the village early the next morning and continued his journey. Before disappearing down the dusty road, he turned and looked once more at the small hut where the boy lived. And quietly he whispered to himself, "One day I will return." Years passed. The boy grew older, but life did not become easier. He still worked long days doing small jobs around the village. Sometimes people ignored him. Sometimes people laughed at his poor clothes. Some villagers even reminded him of that night. "You are too kind," one man once said. "That kindness will keep you poor forever." But the boy never regretted what he had done. Then one morning, something unusual happened. A long line of large SUV rolled into the village. The wagons were filled with colorful fabrics, shining tools, and valuable goods. Villagers gathered in the market square, whispering with curiosity. "Who are they?" "They must be wealthy merchants." At the front of the caravan stood a well-dressed man. He stepped down from his wagon and slowly walked through the village, carefully looking at the people around him. Suddenly, his eyes stopped on someone standing near the village well. It was the boy. Older now, but still dressed in simple clothes and carrying tools from his work. The merchant slowly walked toward him. The villagers became quiet. People whispered to each other, "Why is such an important man walking toward him?" When the merchant reached the boy, he smiled gently. "Do you remember me?" he asked. The boy looked confused. He studied the man's face carefully. Then he shook his head. "I'm sorry," he said politely. "I don't think we have met." The merchant smiled again. "Many years ago," he said, "I knocked on the door of a small wooden hut in this village, and a young boy shared his last meal with a hungry traveler." Suddenly, the memory returned. The boy's eyes widened. "You were the traveler," he said softly. The merchant nodded. "Yes." Then he turned toward the villagers who had gathered around them. "That night," he said, "I had lost everything after bandits attacked my caravan. I had no money, no food, and no hope." He paused for a moment. "But when this boy shared his last meal with me, he reminded me that kindness still exists in the world. That moment gave me the strength to start again." He gestured toward the long line of wagons behind him. "Today I lead one of the largest trading companies in the region." The villagers gasped in surprise. Then the merchant looked back at the boy. "I return not only to thank you, but to change your life the way you changed mine." He offered the boy a position helping manage his new trading post in the village. From that day forward, the boy's life slowly began to change. But he never forgot the lesson that had started everything. Sometimes the smallest act of kindness can create the greatest change. Because when you help someone without expecting anything in return, the world often finds a way to bring that kindness back to you. And remember, the good you give today may become the blessing you receive tomorrow. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to support the channel. Like this video, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next inspiring story. And tell me in the comments, if you had only one meal left, would you share it with a stranger? Until the next story, stay kind, stay grateful, and keep moving forward in life.